What's going on, guys? Tool Cruise here, and today is new bike day. As you can see from the box in front of me, we got a bike from State Bicycle Company. I've actually been a big fan of State bikes. I bought my first State bike back when I lived in Japan. I think it was back in 2016, and for those who don't know, State Bicycles is a more affordable style bike company. They used to focus mainly on single speeds, and they got a bunch of different budget-friendly options. So when I lived in Japan, I really wanted to get back into fixed gear riding, into riding on the velodromes there and training with some of the Keirin riders. Back then I was doing a lot more sprint work, and so I was looking for a track bike. And at the time I didn't have very much money. I was just starting out in my career, and so one of my friends recommended for me to check out State Bicycles. They had some really nice, cheap, affordable track bikes. At the time, the popular one was the Undefeated II, and it was a pretty awesome deal. So I have a few really old videos of me riding that old track bike on the YouTube channel from back in the day, back in Japan. And now I just moved back to the US. We actually have an indoor velodrome nearby where I live, the Detroit Indoor Lexus Velodrome. And this winter season, I'm planning to go there, do some workouts, and hopefully start racing again. So I've been in the market for a new track bike. And of course, the first place I looked was State Bicycles. That was the last track bike I had. It served me really well, and it was really affordable. So I figured I'd give it another try. Unfortunately, State Bikes just discontinued their Undefeated line. Well, temporarily discontinued. It sounds like they're gonna be revitalizing it, maybe with a new carbon frame. I don't know officially what's happening yet, so we're waiting to hear what's happening with that. So I tried reaching out to State to get some more information. Unfortunately, I didn't get any info on the new timeline, but they did recommend for me to try out their other bike that they said could be used on the track, and that is the 6061 Black Label V3. So this is the third version of this lineup. I have seen a couple review videos of it on YouTube. I haven't seen too much of people riding on the track, so I'm excited to check it out and test it out and see how it does perform. But anyway, we'll talk about it more as we continue this unboxing and bike build. The build should be pretty simple because it is a single speed, and I really like the boxes from State Bikes, so pretty cool looking box. The other nice thing with single speeds is they are pretty light. Unfortunately, I did notice that one of the wheels was sticking through. There's a hole here on the side of the box, but with the design from the track bike wheels, I don't think this should be an issue. That sometimes happens, unfortunately, with bike delivery companies. They don't always treat them as nicely as they should. And oh wow, this is actually, I think, the first time I've seen a bike packed like this. Everything is in the plastic wrap here. So we got our saddle here, our goodie box, and I did order a few extra tools and add-ons with my order, so hopefully those are in here. So one of the cool things about State is when you order from their website, it gives you a couple different build options. So you can start with the base build, or if you want to upgrade certain parts, you can pick and choose what you want. So with this bike, I decided to upgrade and go with the carbon wheels. The original build on this bike is actually really cheap. It's only $750, so I figured I could spend a little extra money and get some nicer upgrades. And so yeah, we got the carbon wheels here, which is a nice upgrade. And check out these really sick, like rainbow colored hubs. I think this is called like spilled oil or something, but yeah, it's kind of like a purplish green, which actually matches the frame. The frame is really cool. It's purple. I'll show you guys in a second once we get all the packaging off. But yeah, these wheels are looking really sick. They got the State decals on them. These ones do have the brake surface because this is more of a street riding style bike. So in case I do want to ride it outside on the street with the brakes, that's pretty nice to have that option. The other crazy thing with this bike is the version 3 has a huge tire clearance. I think it can fit over 32s, or maybe it was 34s. I'm gonna have to double check, but the stock tires on here, these are 730s. So Vittoria Zafiro tires, stock with size 30s. I'm gonna have to definitely change these out for the track riding, but I might try and do some city riding with this first before we take it on the track. One of the nice things about this bike is it does use a round seat post, and a little bit heavy, but not too bad. We can upgrade the saddle, we can upgrade the seat post as well. So these are some other upgrades we can do in the future. One of the ways that State keeps all their bikes really cheap is they do make a lot of their own parts. So this is a State branded saddle and State branded seat post. And I'll worry about setting this at the right height and greasing this later. I just want to get it in the stand. And so now you can start to see the frame color on here. It's actually a very dark purple. They have a couple different color choices for this frame, and I was debating between two. There was the black one with the brushed metal decals on it, and also the dark purple with the white decals. And I really was struggling to make the choice between the two because it's called the Black Label, and I don't know, I have too many black bikes, so I wanted something a little bit more unique, so I thought I'd go with the purple frame. But yeah, it's my first ever purple bike. It's a pretty unique looking color, so I'm pretty excited about it. All right, here we go. Here's our first look at the bike, fully unpacked and mostly built up. For the single speeds, it's really not a lot of work. Actually, I was kind of surprised. It's been, like I said, 8 years since my last State bike, so a lot of the parts on here were already installed, so we got the brakes installed. I might try and take this out for a normal street ride first before we take it out to the track, so I'll leave the brakes on for now, and I can easily remove those when I want to go onto the track. So most of everything on here is stock. The only parts on here that I did upgrade were the wheels. So I got the carbon State wheels with these really cool looking hubs. And the other part we upgraded was the crank. On my last State bike, it came with some Omnium cranks, and I guess Omnium cranks are pretty rare now. So SRAM doesn't really make them anymore, but State has a huge stockpile of them. And they worked well for me last time, so I got another pair this time. Everything else on here is completely stock, so this complete bike with the original State cranks and the original State wheels is going to run you $750, and the cranks and wheels are going to be quite a little bit extra. But for me, I'm going to be doing a lot more training and racing with this bike, so I wanted to at least make sure I had some cranks that could perform well for the racing. So that's why I got those. And I don't know why, but the frame color in the video is looking a little bit different than it does in person. This is a dark purple color frame, and in the video it's looking a little blue, so I don't know. I'm just looking at it on the small camera screen right now. Maybe it'll look okay on the computer. But yeah, a really cool dark purple color. It's also dark right now. This bike arrived and I was busy all day, didn't have time to build it, and it's already dark outside. So we'll take this outside later and see what it looks like in the sunlight. Not that this bike is gonna see much sunlight. But yeah, most of the components on here are going to be State branded components. So we got the State branded stem, we've got the State branded handlebars, and this is kind of an interesting thing that they didn't install on the bike, and that's the handlebar tape. So I guess they do that because some people want to remove the brakes and that way they don't ruin the handlebar tape, and other people, they might want to install the handlebar tape their own way. And for the frame itself, we've got the big State logo here on the down tube, and like I said on the website, they got a bunch of different colors. My favorites were the complete black color and this purple one, but they got a few other ones as well. On the top of the top tube here, State Bicycle Company, Black Label Series. We've also got the State logo here in the front of the bike for State Bicycle Companies. It is an aluminum frame, but it's got these arrow style tubes, and especially this down tube here, it's really cool looking with those arrow tubes. As for the size, I was kind of in between sizes. I decided to go down a size with the 55 because you can always make the bike a little bigger. And this size is in between my wife's size and my own size. So hopefully my wife will also be able to fit on this bike. The default gears for the bike is a 48, I believe 17 on the back. And that's the same if you get the default crank or the upgraded crank like I got. I also did order a few extra parts, so I got my lock ring tool and I got a bunch of other gears. So I got my 13, my 14, 15, and 16. So yeah, it must have come with the 17 because that's the next one on the chain. So default street gear, 48-17, but on the velodrome, we usually use more like a 49-15 or 50-15 kind of range. So we'll see. I'm not used to having a 48 up front, but should be okay, I think, with the extra cogs that I got. And again, the stock tires on here is the Vittoria Zaffiros. These are in size 30. And I did just double check on the website for the frame clearance. And it said officially the frame clearance is 35. And some people have reported that they can fit even 38s on here. So that is a massive tire clearance for a fixed gear bike. So this should be really comfortable for street riding. But on the velodrome, I do not need those big of tires. So I'm probably going to be running 23s or 25s. I'm really not sure. What do people ride on the track now? Everyone's going to bigger tire sizes on the road. I don't think that makes sense on the track because everything's smooth. But yeah, it's nice to have that extra tire clearance in case we need it. And unfortunately just noticed this little scratch here, but that's really small, really minor. The other reason I decided to go with this frame instead of a carbon frame is because this is going to be super durable. The velodrome in Detroit likes to focus on Madison racing, and Madison racing is where you have a partner and you do hand tosses to throw the other person. It can be a really dangerous style of racing, especially since they mix the different ability levels. So I wanted a bike that's going to be extra durable. In case I do crash, I do not want my frame to break. And that's one of the big reasons I decided to go with this bike. So just from carrying the box, I knew this bike was going to be pretty light. Let's do a quick weight check. So it's showing 18.8 pounds, about 8.5 kilograms. So not crazy light, but we can still drop some weight really easily. We can take off the brake handles, the brake cables, the brakes themselves, and also make some upgrades on the bike. So upgrading the saddle. The saddle does feel pretty firm. I think this might actually be okay, just maybe a little bit heavy. But yeah, we can upgrade the saddle, the seat post, the handlebars and stem. I'm not sure what my position is going to be on the bike yet, so I might need to upgrade the stem at the very least. Yeah, it's actually kind of nice to have the aluminum handlebars because again, in case you crash, I'd rather not have carbon bars on a Madison bike. So yeah, I'm really digging the color. I think I made the right choice rather than going with the all black, getting the purple frame because it goes with the black. It goes really good together. And those hubs look really nice with the frame. It just matches really good. And yeah, this bike, unfortunately, probably not going to see much sunshine because we're going to be at the indoor Lexus Velodrome and I'll be filming some videos there this upcoming winter. Unfortunately, it is cyclocross season right now and I've got a pretty jam-packed cyclocross racing schedule, so I'm really not sure how much I'm going to be starting riding track just right now. We might have to wait a few weeks or maybe even a few months before I start going to the track regularly. But I wanted to get this bike now so I have it and I can start going to the track. The track here is a pretty difficult one to ride. It's a very short distance. It's less than 200 meters. And I believe the banking is also over 50 degrees in the corners. So you do have to take an intro track kind of class. Even though I think I've ridden over 10 different velodromes around the world. I haven't done it in a long time. So it's always good to take a refresher. And I'm really excited to show you guys the Lexus Velodrome. It's a really cool thing that they have going on here in Detroit. And we're going to be filming a lot more videos there this upcoming winter. So even though they do have rental bikes there, I wanted to get a basic kind of training bike for myself. And I'm pretty excited for this bike. It reminds me a lot of my old Undefeated state track bike. It's crazy to me that I got that bike over 8 years ago, which is unfortunately 1 year before I started this YouTube channel. So I didn't film the unboxing for that bike, but again, some of the earlier videos on my channel, I think I have 2 or 3 videos where I went to some of the local velodromes, or Keirin as they call it in Japanese, for the Japanese Keirin, and did some training and some practice racing there in Japan. So if you want to check out some really, really old videos with some low quality on the 20 Cruise channel, I'll leave some links so you can go find them. But yeah, really excited to take this bike out for a spin. This video is just going to be the unboxing and first impression video. And for the ride test, we're going to make that a separate video at the track here, hopefully pretty soon. So yeah, super excited about this bike. It looks really sick. Let me know, did I make the right choice getting the purple bike, or do you like one of the other colors that they have on their website? And before we go, some other quick information about State Bicycles. They're actually an American-based bicycle company. Their headquarters is over in California. I'm pretty sure their manufacturing is overseas. And the other thing is with the warranty on the frame, all of their bikes, I believe, come with a 5-year warranty on their frames and forks. And the other cool thing about State bikes I've noticed is their owner is pretty active on Reddit and listening to customer feedback and making upgrades with the bikes. So this is actually the 3rd edition of the Black Label. This is the V3, and just listening to the customer feedback and making the bikes that the consumers want. The other thing I really like about State bicycles and why I decided to go with one of their bikes again is because they're a more budget-oriented company. They make so many different affordable bike options that help reduce the barrier for new cyclists to get into cycling. And that's one of the big things that I like to do on my channel, is just help promote all different kinds of cycling. It doesn't always have to be the highest, most expensive carbon bike. As long as you're out there on no matter what kind of bike that you're on and enjoying it, that's what's most important. And the more cheaper, higher quality options out there on the market is a good thing in my mind. Anyway, before I go, let me know what you think about the bike. Did I make the right choice in the color? And also let me know if you're a State bicycle owner yourself. Let me know what model you have down in the comments. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. It's getting pretty late. I gotta go to bed, and we'll see you in the next video.